Hello, everyone. Welcome to the World Tapping Circle. I'm your host, Sophia, and I am so pleased to be with you. It's such a special thing that we're doing here. I'm delighted that you've decided to show up and that you're going to take your consciousness in your own two hands and process some of that stuff out of your nervous system. Update your immune system with your own love and your own understanding of yourself. We are literally rebuilding ourselves from the inside out every time we do this somatic processing called EFT. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the circle, make sure you say hi to us in the chat. If you're an old friend and you've been here for years, say hi to us in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in from. It always impresses me. I've been seeing people coming from all over this planet. Canada, Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, the UK, Germany. So let's see who's here with us today. Also, while you're doing that, I'll draw your attention to the chat. You'll see where it says handouts at the top. If you have questions about EFT, we have some really quick, like 30-second to 1-minute videos that you can activate even during the live stream that hopefully will answer some of your questions. There's also handouts that you can print that have the tapping points and also a list of other helpful things that you could use if you ever feel like you're getting stuck or in over your head. All right, I'm going to look in here in the chat. I see Diane here in Bellingham, Washington. Magnus is here, of course, and Austin as well, here on as members of Team Love. Chris R. from Montana. Gregory in Eureka. Christina L. in Santa Rosa, California. Kat K in Georgetown, Texas, usually San Francisco. Corey S. in Wisconsin. Lynn J. in Chicago. Sandra, hello. Tara in Southeast Queensland, Australia. With Julian Riley, aged 11. Hey, y'all, family in Australia. Toki having a tapping party with our dear friend Frank in Arizona. That's wonderful. I'll just explain quickly a term I devised for when two or more gather and tap through the pain. We call this a tapping party because it makes it more fun to process with friends and family. Yes, it does. Been looking forward to this all day. It says Tara B. in Chicago, Allison in Fairfax, California, Christina in Montreal, Quebec, Catherine in Napa, California, Gretchen in Ohio. The list goes on and on, y'all. I wish I had time to say hi to everyone. I see Canada, Oregon, Laguna, Mount Vernon, Washington. Hi, everybody. So many new people here. Our membership is growing, y'all. We have 1,069 people in Circle now. Our Circle has grown several hundred people each week. So thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for sharing the link. Our circle can hold up to 10,000 people. My goal is that we use this beautiful baby for what we created it for, which is to sort of be like an ark in the storm, a place that's safe and healing and natural where you can tune in and you know that you're always going to leave feeling better than when you came. So thank you for that. Today's topic is consciously creating. So we're going to do something a little different today. Usually we do the core causes, which are in all the other videos other than a few special ones I did on the virus situation, which is in the members library, which comes with your subscription. So if you're feeling particularly overwhelmed about that, I did 5 weeks of videos just on that. Today we're going to do something called consciously creating. And what I need you to do right now is quick grab something to write on and something to write with that's not a Sharpie on your arm. So while you do that, I'm going to say hi to a couple more people in the chat. Come right back. Madeline in Sweden, Kirsten in Lake Tahoe, Mateo James in Portland, Samadi here in Austin, Diane in Toronto, Daniel in New Jersey, Nicholas, hello, shout out to you in Nevada City. Marianne says, your hair looks great. Well, thank you very much. I like to get dressed up for y'all. It makes my week. Okay, so consciously creating. What we're going to be doing is using this tap as a way to manifest something that you really, really want, something that you need, something that you're hoping for. And we're going to use EFT in kind of a different way. We're going to actually use it to help reprogram our belief system so that we can hold steady our desire and our will in the same place inside of us in a way that feels natural and clear. So you know that when you really aren't just emotionally hoping for something, but you feel in your heart that something will happen, it tends to happen. Now, whether that's a negative thing or a positive thing, the mechanism to bring something into this reality and anchor it here is the same. This is why when we're doing work with people, we need to get our teams aligned, because if you have people who are not quite sure or afraid of what we're doing, it can really slow down the whole process. But that's also true with a family, that's true with a community, and that's true with civilization, right? So we're in this process right now, you guys, of rebuilding our civilization from the inside out. What is a civilization made of? Is it made of streets and roads and buildings and governments? It's made of people, right? The civilization is made by the populace, and the populace is the people. So if you want to change the civilization, it's going to be from the ground up. And when all of us start to reorganize and reorient according to what feels good and loving and right and true and smart and fun and connecting, our populace changes and reorients what we vote for, what we accept, what we build, what we buy, what we do with our time, how we work. It all changes. And we're in the middle of a magnificent opportunity to say, okay, things got pretty whacked out for a while. Now I'm actually going to do my part to put my energetic vote in. And what's cool is I don't have to vote for something that's out there that I have two bad choices and I'm not sure which one I want. I can say I actually get to create from inside me. When I ask my heart, when I ask my soul what's important to me. Now, you can use this tap again and again. So if you don't want to go to the global level, because that's the level I'm always thinking and feeling, and that's what I'm designed to do. But maybe you just want to manifest a clean house, or you want to manifest some money coming in, or you want to manifest more peace in a relationship. You can use this tap for that as well. All of those things matter, actually. Your happiness matters, your health matters, your creativity matters, your joy matters, your relationships matter. Those things fuel you, and what fuels you enhances life for the rest of us. So when you're a happy, healthy person, you're automatically helping to create a happier, healthier world. And as we free ourselves, the world will follow, right? So you're taking your own consciousness and saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to command my consciousness with my intelligence, with my heart, with my energy, and with my feelings. And that's the secret sauce in all of this. It's not enough just to say, this is what I want. You actually have to get in and see if you're actually in alignment with that. And as you take out the things that are the naysayers, the fears, the doubts, you actually can become a very powerful manifester. You can bring things right into your life, right into your relationships, right into your community, and right into your world. So, you got your paper, you got your pen or pencil. I want you to close your eyes for a second and ask yourself, What is it that I want to create right now? Don't put too much thought into it. You can do this 100 times if you want. Put it down on the top of the paper, what you want to create. It's just going to be 4 or 5 words, less than a sentence long. Just a little quick title, what I'm creating. And when you're creating, don't create a not this, but create a yes that, if that makes sense. Not a I don't want any of these. It's what do you want? So you're going to create in the affirmative. I am creating. Do you want to know what I'm creating? Do you? Tell me in the chat. I'm creating a new consciousness on this earth. Yeah. I want to know what you're creating. Tell me in the chat. And as that chat comes in, I'm going to read a few of these things. Takes a few seconds on my side for those messages to get here. And you begin tapping your chest and breathing, because it's intense to say that this is what's going to be, right? You can already feel the power of that. Yay, everyone's saying, yes, yes, I want to hear what you're creating. I already told you. What are you creating? Danielle says, a beautiful home. Still waiting for the chat to come in here. Christina says, getting to hear my favorite singer. Nicholas says, a healthy, energetic, clear body and mind. Tara says, I'm creating more peaceful relationship within myself. World peace and harmony. Joy. A massage. Hey, I'm going to create, art with a message. I have a secret desire to create a massage for myself. Shoda says, I wrote a world of love, freedom, generosity, and harmony. But a new consciousness is what I usually say. Yeah. Rosie says, love, family, money, creativity, joy. Am I asking too much? That's a good question. The answer is no, you're not asking too much. But can you eat the entire buffet at once? I think it's going to be best if you break it down into a smaller bite-sized piece for this tap. Excuse me, you guys. Singer's saving grace. So, Shodo, take that and break it down into an example of that. For example, love or freedom or generosity. What would an example of that be that would be really meaningful to you? Or Rosie, also break it down. So what would family look like? Is it you want to make a family, you want to have children, or is it that you want a better connection with the family that you have? So Chelsea, also a sustainable life. Great. So what does that mean, a sustainable life? Does that mean a work-life balance with money and play and relationship? I want you all to get specific in your mind about what that is for you. Does that make sense? For me, when I say I'm creating a new consciousness in the world, I'm actually holding this circle in my mind and heart. You are part of that new conscious creation. You know, seeing you heal, feeling you grow is part of my manifestation in a very specific way. So everybody zoom in just a little bit closer, remembering that you can do this tap again and again. And I have lots of manifestation taps in the video library if you want one with a different hairstyle. Erica says, better connection with the children I have, creating an environment in which they can thrive. Beautiful. Clear. we're going to go there. Okay? Everyone dialed it in? Deborah says financial and romantic abundance. Pick one for the exercise that we're doing now. Christina says creating a life of sobriety, so then a better me to create money. Perfect. That's very deliberate. That's very specific. Christian, clean diet, writing practice. Pick one for now. I'm guessing a clean diet will enhance your writing practice, but maybe a writing practice would make you more self-reflective and choose better foods. All right. So the second part of this exercise, before we get to tapping, and don't worry, we're going to really nail it with the tapping here in just a minute, is I want you to take 1 minute and write down all the negative yeah buts and what ifs that come up when you read this statement, this specific thing that you're wanting to create. So for example, I would say, I want to create new consciousness on this planet. And my yeah buts, well, what if nobody else wants that? What if nobody wants to come to circle? Well, what if my plan to do it isn't going to work? You know, these kind of ideas, fears and thoughts, yeah buts and what ifs. You've got 1 minute, go. Write them all down, unedited. Thirty more seconds. All the yeah buts and what ifs. Ten more seconds. Okay, now I'd like you to put a number of intensity next to each thing that you wrote. And it's okay if you're still writing a little bit. You'll catch up with us quickly. A number of intensity, meaning how true or heavy does that belief feel? 10 is, it feels 100% true, feels super duper heavy. A 1 is maybe 10% true, pretty light. So just quickly, without giving it too much thought, just guess. Put a number in the margin next to each one of those items, the fears and the thoughts, the yeah buts and the what ifs. And then we're going to tap on that. Okay. So following along with me, massaging the sore spots in the front of the chest. If you don't know where they are, collarbones, 4 to 6 inches down, upper pectoral region, feeling around with your fingers until you find kind of a sore spot in the front of your chest. Give it a light massage and a big deep breath. Repeat after me, remembering that you can modify and change these words to more specifically fit your own situation. Here we go. Even though a part of me wants, and then say what you're specifically creating. Yet another part of me isn't sure I can have that. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the beginning of your eyebrows. Big deep breath. A part of me wants, and then say what you're consciously creating. tapping the temples. Yet other parts of me doubt that it can happen. Tapping the cheeks. And fear that it will happen. Tapping under the nose. And fear that it won't happen. Big deep breath. Tapping under the lips. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the front of the chest. Part of me doesn't think I can have this. So I want you to glance down at your paper and look at the thing on your paper with the highest number next to it, meaning it's the strongest negative thought, fear, or belief. And I want you to fill in the blank with this next thing we're going to say. Dropping down to the front of the ribs, bottom of the rib cage. Part of me thinks, and then say what that strong negative belief or fear is. Tapping the side of the ribs, nipple height, the side seam of the body. You can cross your arms like this and hug yourself and tap, or you can use the back of your knuckles, either way. Say this negative thought again, or this feeling or belief. Tap the inside of the wrist, say that same sentence again. For example, it's impossible. Tap the side of the thumb. A part of me strongly agrees with this statement. Tap the index finger. Even though I consciously want something else. Tap the middle finger, going back to that same negative statement that you just made. Yet a part of me secretly thinks or fears, and then say what that is. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Where did I get this idea? Where did I get this feeling? Ask yourself 3 times, where did I pick this up? Where did I pick this up? Where did I pick this up? Tapping your little finger. Blurt out the answer. What's the first thought that comes to your head? Where did you pick this up? Tapping the side of the hand. How old were you when you started to believe this? Or worry about this? For example, I picked this up from my father, or from my mother, or from a friend at school, a teacher, last year, or when I was 6. Tapping the top of the head. This old fear, say what it is that we're talking about, has been living inside me, draining my energy from creating this. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tap the eyebrows. Even if this idea, this feeling is so old and so strong. Tap the temples. It's become a part of me. Big deep breath. Tapping the cheeks. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping under the nose. Even if a part of me stays stuck. Tapping under the lips. On this, and say this limiting belief or negative feeling again. What are we talking about specifically? If you forgot, it's on your list, and it's got the highest number next to it of emotional intensity. Tapping the chest. I'm open to releasing this from my body now, from my mind. Tap the front of the ribs. Even if it's an old family tradition to feel this way. Big deep breath. Tapping the side of the ribs. And to believe this. Tap the inside of the wrist. Even if it's what society tells me. Even if it's what my parents told me. Tap the side of the thumb. Big deep breath. I'm open to loving and expressing myself. Tap the index finger. I'm releasing this belief that's been controlling my ability to do what? In other words, if you didn't have this thought or fear, what would you be able to do? So, for example, I've had to believe that changing consciousness in this world was possible in order to work for 6 years to live stream and keep going and keep growing this circle and showing up. Otherwise, I would have quit. So what is it that this limiting belief is keeping you from doing? Say it out loud. Tap your middle finger. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. How does it feel to be kept from doing that by this old fear or this old idea that might not have even originated in your own head, that you got handed like some kind of weird heirloom? Tap your little finger. I'm open to loving and reprogramming myself to come into alignment. Tap the side of the hand with what I'm consciously creating. Now say what you're consciously creating. I'm consciously creating what? It's on the top of your page. Tapping the top of the head. I'm open to loving and expressing myself. Tapping the sides of the head and the back of the head. I am creating this for who? I'm creating this for myself. Tap the eyebrows. Who else would benefit from this creation? Would your children or your friends? Your community? Your pets? Your body? Tapping the temples and breathing. I'm creating this for myself, and then say who else it will also positively affect. Tapping the cheeks. Big deep breath. Notice what's happening as you're commanding this into being. I'm feeling you right now. I'm feeling some of you like burping and tingling and kind of getting really sleepy and like, right? Tapping under the lips. I give myself permission to release the anxiety, fear, and doubt that's prevented this from coming into my life. Tapping the chest. Including, and then go ahead and say anything that's on your list, or if that number is still pretty high, keep working on that one piece, and you're just going to baby step through these pieces. Including what are you willing to look at? My fear of judgment, or the belief that I can't do it because I'm not good enough. Big snorty breath. Here we go. Tapping the front of the ribs. I'm open to loving and respecting myself, even if I cling to this thought, this old part of my identity. Tap the side of the ribs. Where do you feel this fear, this belief lodged in your body? Is it in your throat, your neck, your back, your shoulders, your hips, your butt. Tap the inside of the wrist and breathe. Tap the side of the thumb. It's safe to release this idea from my body now. Tapping the index finger, releasing this old energy, allowing myself to regroup and to grow. Tap the middle finger. Big deep breath. I'm regrouping and I'm growing beyond this now. I'm processing right along with you. Woo! Here it comes. Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. I'm regrouping and growing beyond this now. Big deep breath. Tapping the little finger. I give myself permission to release these fears and doubts. Tap the side of the hand, including what? What's on your list that you know is really holding you back? Tapping the top of the head. Where did you get this idea? What happened to make you believe this? Is there a memory associated? Yeah, there was the time when What happened? Speak it out loud. Take 30 seconds. Describe what happened. Keep tapping as you talk. Tapping the eyebrow. Tapping the temple. I give myself permission. Tap the cheeks. To release the stress, embarrassment, shame, tapping under the nose, exhaustion, tapping under the lips, and all the hurt or pain surrounding that moment. Big deep breath. Think about how it shut you down. Tapping the chest. Reclaiming my power. Taking it back from where or who. For example, taking it back from church or taking it back from someone who abused me. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to forgive myself for shutting down in fear. Tap the side of the ribs. Losing my power for so long. Tapping the inside of the wrist. Let's do the opposite wrist this time. I'm reclaiming my power. Taking it back where I left it. Tap the side of the thumb. I want you to imagine this energy coming back into you, wherever you left it. Tapping the side of the thumb down to the index finger. I'm releasing the grief this has created for me, including insecurities. Tap the middle finger. Frustrations. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. And procrastination. Tap the little finger. A part of me is afraid to fail and doesn't want to try. Tap the side of the hand. A part of me is afraid to try. So some of you may have heard me say this before. What is the number one way to guarantee failure? The only way to 100% guarantee failure is to not try, right? It's to not make one move. You're like, okay, I pre-failed by choosing not to even go for it at all. Tap the top of the head. I give myself permission. Tapping the side of the head and the back of the head to release my fear of failing at this, of messing it up or losing it. Tapping the eyebrows, releasing this fear from my stomach, tapping the temples, from my neck, tap the cheeks from my head, tapping under the nose, from my story of myself, tapping under the lips. I forgive myself for talking myself out of thinking I could do this. Tapping the chest. I forgive myself for listening to anyone else who told me I probably couldn't do it or have it or be that. Tapping the front of the ribs. I love and accept myself. If that's too hard to say, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the side of the ribs. I give myself permission to move forward consciously with this creation of, tap the inside of the wrist and say quite loud and proud what you're creating. I'm creating. What are you creating? Tapping the side of the thumb and breathing. I'm open to loving and trusting myself. Tap the index finger, even if I don't know how to do this, because I never ever did it before, and I'm scared and wiggly and jiggly inside when I think about having it. Tap the middle finger. I'm allowing myself to get used to the idea that I'm worthy. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. That I deserve this. And think about that. I'm worthy and I deserve this. Not in an arrogant, I deserve this kind of way, but I deserve this. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to know peace. I deserve to have a beautiful environment. It nourishes me. We all deserve this. Tap the little finger. I'm allowing myself to become masterful at consciously creating. Tap the side of the hand. Learning how to clear and rebalance my feelings about this. To realign my thoughts about this. Tapping the top of the head. Even though that feels like a lot of work, because I've done it this other way so long, I've just wished and hoped and then felt mad and frustrated. Tapping the sides of the head. I didn't know what was holding me back. Tap the eyebrows. And now I see some things that were holding me back. Tapping the temple, including what? What's on your list? Maybe it's something you're still working on that we've been talking about. Maybe it's something else because these other things have decreased in intensity. Tapping the cheeks. What else is there? Maybe it's an exact statement that someone said to you, like, you can't blah, 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 or you'll never amount to anything. Tapping under the nose, big deep breath. Tapping under the lips. I give myself permission to heal this and say exactly the negative thought, fear, feeling, or statement. Tapping the chest. This, and then say that same negative thought, fear, feeling, or statement again. Because when you do that, what you're doing is you're reading the program that's in your head. If you want to edit it, you have to read it first. If you read it with compassion and empathy and love, that will actually delete it. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm giving myself permission to send love to this part of me that's been secretly thinking or fearing what? Say what that is. Say the negative statement again as you tap and breathe. Tapping the side of the ribs. I'm allowing myself to grow and to evolve beyond this now. Super exciting. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm allowing myself to grow, no matter how old and deep. And then say that same negative thought, fear, or feeling one more time. Tuning into it. How real does it feel when you say that now? Is it losing its grip on you? Tap the side of the thumb. I forgive myself. Tapping the index finger. And everyone involved. Even if they said it to try to scare me or hurt me. Even if they said it to try to love me and protect me. Tap the middle finger. I'm releasing my need to hold back this manifestation by that belief. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. So I want to explain to you again. What we're doing is learning how to cause and create reality. The steering wheel is your conscious mind, but the engine that drives this whole vehicle forward are your thoughts and your feelings. Tap the little finger. We still have 20 minutes left, which is amazing because we can get so much done in 20 minutes. Tap the side of the hand. Look at your page again. Take a second and change the numbers of intensity on the things that you've listed that were beneath your creation statement. So just quickly, if it was a 6, maybe it's down to a 3, maybe it was a 5 and now it's up to a 9 because you realize, oh, I was just numb about that. It was really more intense than I thought. But change those numbers to reflect the new version of reality that you're currently in. When you're done doing that, go back to tapping your chest. And tuning into your creation. Just another second or two to finish that up. Tapping the eyebrow. I give myself permission, tap the temples, to see how much I'm already changing in just half an hour. Tap the cheeks. I give myself permission to release these fears, especially, so take your pencil and circle the top 2 that are still pretty strong. Maybe something that's higher than a 4 or a 5. Tapping under the nose. I give myself permission to heal this. Tapping under the lips. Especially, and then say this negative fear, thought, or feeling. For example, somebody will be jealous or someone will judge me. Tapping the chest. I give myself permission to release this idea and wherever it came from. So I want you to go back and notice where this thought came from. Whoa, is y'all's video tripping out right now? On my side, my image is going like, it's like, oh wow. I don't know. I hope you can see me. There we go. Tapping the front of the ribs. I give myself permission to release this from wherever it came from. Tap the side of the ribs. So tuning in to where this deep idea became a part of you. How old were you when this happened? Tapping the inside of the wrist. Notice if this same fear or thought or feeling has been running other areas of your life too. Tap the side of the thumb. What would happen if I release this idea or this emotion of, and then say your idea or emotion again. Tap the index finger and traded it in for, so what would the solution to this negative thought be? In other words, what's the antidote? Tap the middle finger. So you're creating a new positive statement. Your new positive statement is creating in the affirmative. For example, I'm afraid I'll be judged turns into my belief about myself is the only thing that matters. And I judge myself as capable and worthy. So tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Say that positive statement again. And say it like you mean it. Tap the little finger. I give myself permission to replace this limiting belief. Say your negative belief. Tap the side of the hand. Say your new positive belief. Tapping the top of the head. I give myself permission to now receive this new information and say your positive belief, like, I'm good enough. I'm worthy of having this. Tap the eyebrows. It's figure-outable. Tapping the temples. It's okay for me to have help as I learn and grow and anchor this. Tapping the cheeks. I give myself full permission to go for it. Tapping under the nose. Even if it terrifies me. Tapping under the lips. Even if it terrifies me. Tapping the chest. Even if it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Tapping the front of the ribs. Even if I'm afraid it's going to take too long. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I give myself full permission to, now I want you to name it and claim it. Say your manifestation. What are you creating? Tap the side of the thumb. I want you to tune in and see if it feels easier to say than it did when we began. Tap the index finger. How does that feel for you to say, I am consciously creating? I am consciously creating. Say your creation again. I am consciously creating new consciousness on this earth. In myself, in my people, on my planet. I do this for the good of myself, for the good of my family, for the good of my lineage, for the good of all my relations. I do this with joy in my heart. Tap the middle finger. I give myself permission to release the fear. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. What other fear can we process? We still have 10 whole minutes. Look how much you've grown in 10 minutes. Oh, it's amazing. I give myself permission to process the fear of having this come true. Let's talk about that for a minute. Tapping your little finger. So sometimes we have a secret fear of it actually working out, and then how much that will change us, how much that would force us to grow, a new level of responsibility, something else that we would have to learn to do and get really good at. And the cool thing is, our desires usually take us to our growth edge. I did not know how to use computers. I did not know how to live stream when I said I want to talk to the world and help guide the world's consciousness back into alignment with their own loving souls, with their own loving intelligence. Right? So there's a lot of tapping and trying and striving and struggling to get somewhere, but at the same time, it actually makes you really strong. It grows your capacity. You get new skills and you make new friends. Tapping the eyebrows. I give myself permission. Tapping the temples to grow. As this comes into my life, tap your cheeks. And when I say this, what are we talking about? Tapping under the nose. I give myself permission to have this. Tapping under the lips. Say what it is that you're creating. Tapping the chest. I'm allowing this to happen. Even though I still don't know how it's going to be or when it's going to happen. Tap the inside of the wrist. And there's so much that would change. What would change if this came into your life? If you had the money, or if you made that new friend, or you had that new relationship, or you had this beautiful environment. Keep tapping and talking about the changes that would bring. Tapping the index finger. Tapping the middle finger. I give myself permission to enjoy this process of change. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Even if it changes the way I look at myself and the way others look at me. Tap the little finger, even if it changes the way I feel and the things I do with my time. Tap the side of the hand, even if it changes. What else might it change if this came to you? Let's say we get done with the tapping circle and boom, it's right there at your front door. Or it's suddenly right here inside your body. Oh, I feel really different. Woo! Is it okay to know that you have this kind of power? Is it okay for other people to see you in this way? Or for you to be like, oh, all right, I gotta figure this piece out now to sustain it. Tapping the top of the head, big deep breath. Oh my gosh, it was 5 more minutes. Look how far you've gone. Tapping the eyebrows. I give myself permission to become masterful. Tapping the temples and breathing. Tapping the cheeks at consciously creating the life and world that makes me the most happy. Tapping under the nose. I'm creating the life and world that makes me the most happy. Tapping under the lips. I'm giving this to myself. Tapping the chest. I'm giving this to my family. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm giving this to my community. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm giving this to my world. This gift of me receiving this and learning and growing. Tap the inside of the wrist. I give this to myself. Tap the side of the thumb. No matter how long it takes. Tap the index finger and breathe. No matter how many things are still on my list to be tapped. Scan down, look at the things you haven't gotten to. Just gaze at them, read them. There they are. Or the things that still have some intensity left. Tap the middle finger. I am now aware of what I've been creating. So tapping the bottom of the 4th finger. I am now aware of what I have been creating. And where a lot of that has come from. Tap the little finger. So why is it important for you to notice what you've been subconsciously agreeing to? Because it puts you in a very powerful position. It's not that you didn't create it right. It's that I created this with my thoughts, my fears, my feelings, my attitudes, my attempts or lack of attempts, my ego, my personality, my embarrassment. Okay, if I created that with that, then I also can create something else by changing the way I feel and the way I think. Tapping the top of the head. I'm changing the way I feel and the way I think about this. What would you say to your own best friend if this is what your best friend said they wanted? What would you say to the person you love so much to cheer them on? Say that to yourself loud and proud right now as you tap all over the body. I believe in you. You can have this and more. You totally deserve this. I would love to see you have that. I'm in full support of you receiving this. We all want you to have this. You've totally got what it takes. I trust that you will learn and grow along the way and get really good at managing and taking care of this. Tapping all over the body. One more beautiful, loving statement. Now I want you to add your name to it. So I would say, Sonya, I love you and I trust you. And I want you to have this. Add your name to it. How are you feeling? Before you answer that in the chat, Look at your paper, change those numbers one more time to reflect what's actually there. If something's zeroed out, scratch it through. Cross it off your list. This is your to tap list to get what it is to come into your life. This is you using your energy, your physical body, your heart, your spirit to come into alignment. Because as this feels acceptable to your nervous system, it feels safe. And when something feels safe, it's normal for you. When it's normal for you, you can have it because it feels safe. All right. I'm seeing the chats come in. There are people who are still holding on to some things. You've only been tapping with me. Really, we tapped for about 45 minutes. There are some people that are feeling, wow, I'm feeling hopeful and energized. Kim is like, I'm down to a 0. Some are saying, I got the first negative emotion down, but I still have more. Others are saying, woo, it's amazing. My body is aching inside, but I feel refreshed and awake. So the follow through for this tap is to do it again. You have this video. It's in your video library by midnight my time tonight. So in 3 or 4 hours, this video is there for you. By tomorrow, you could do it again. You also don't need the video to do this. You can sit down with your piece of paper, including continuing after we end this broadcast, and be like, you know what? I want to keep working on this while I'm still up in it. I'm going to just sit here and accept and love that I feel this way. I'm going to tell myself I can feel this way as long as I want. I can examine where this came from and what it might mean to switch it around and create some new positive statements for myself. This is not that hard. I mean, it is kind of hard, but it's not a hard process. It's not a complicated process. It's very simple. And we do this process every single week. So who here is committed? Would you spend an extra couple of hours on yourself if it meant you could have this? Would you spend a couple of weeks working on this? Would you do 5 or 10 hours worth of work if it brought you that much more money? Or if it brought you true love? Or if it brought your body back to health? Because what we're really talking about is learning how to bring things into reality because we say so. And when you don't give up and you align with what feels good and natural and normal for you, this world becomes a new and natural, healthy, beautiful, sustainable, abundant, cheerful, joyous, fun, healthy, alive, and vibrant place. So this is going to give you something to do to take your mind off of all those external things out there. It's like, oh, I'm going to sit inside my house and magic up some really good medicine for myself. All right, I'm going to chirp into the chat with you, reading some of this. And I want you to know that I always read all the chat after the circle, even if I can't read it all out loud to you. It really matters to me how you're doing and what's going on. A couple of quick notes as I look here. Rosie says, I am committed. I want this, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Great. And really, most of what it's going to take is you just tapping through fears. Just layers of fears and old memories. Denise says, I went from a 10 down to a 2. I both feel expansive and tired, right? Yeah, that's great. You just processed a ton. So glad I found this circle. I'm so glad you found this circle too. I'm seeing so many people saying, I am loving, I'm kind, I'm beautiful, I'm feeling better. I know there's much more to clear. Thank you for the session and the tapping. You're welcome, Dora. Thank you all for joining me. So I want to give a shout out to some new people who found the World Tapping Circle through a group I'm working with called Access Elite. And they are a comprehensive health and wellness service. I'm one of the people that is responding to people asking for sessions on their app. It also gives you a discount for private sessions. So I'm going to put a pop-up for Access Elite. You can give that a click now if you want to examine that. I also want to leave you with a song, a happy, cheerful, powerful song, which I've been doing in the last couple of months. This song is called Beautiful Creatures. Beautiful creatures, because we're all beautiful creatures, and what we're creating is also something very beautiful. So thank you all for being in the circle. I look forward to seeing you in the next circle, and I hope you rock out to this song. And donate if you can, you guys. We want to keep this circle moving. So if you guys don't mind putting up that donation link, we appreciate it. We're getting donations trickling in every day, and it looks like we're going to be able to keep broadcasting. So help us, help you, help us. I love you. Thank you so much for being here.
I am the pop pop, I am the pop pop, I am the pop pop, I am the pop pop,